This is Essie Featured. This is the power of sports.
Felt weak. I feel like I let people down from the hometown, going to the U of M. Feel like I was disappointing people. Basketball's not gonna work, what am I gonna do? I don't do anything else. It was just, this is it, and this is it.
This is where Jarvis Johnson wants to be, but not like this. He can go to class, but not play on the court. The game he loves is the one that nearly killed him.
I'd do it, actually. I'd probably die for the game of basketball.
It was December 1st, 2010, when a 14-year-old Jarvis collapsed on the court before practice. At 4:11 p.m., police reported he wasn't breathing and had no pulse. Jarvis was in full cardiac arrest.
When I got to the gym, there was just this look on everybody's face. A police officer approached me and said, "Well, your son's been dead for about 6 minutes." I just couldn't believe that he would die right here.
Paramedics used an AED, an automated external defibrillator, attempting to shock his heart back to life.
Shock him the first time. Nothing. They say nothing. We got nothing. Cue it up for the second time. We got nothing.
You know, they shocked him one more time, and then all of a sudden they finally started getting a pulse.
You usually are on a timetable of minutes until you start having irreversible brain damage, kidney damage, liver damage. In Jarvis's case, he went about 10 to 15 minutes without any resuscitation.
The doctors, they told us that there's a chance he won't make it through the night.
There's like one or two of them that were like, nah, I've seen this case before, I think we should wait. And their opinion was what really changed it, because they weren't gonna try it, they were just gonna pull the plug.
3 days later, Jarvis woke up. He was alert, alive, and very much himself.
You know, the first thing he basically asked, "Where's my basketball shoes?"
We don't tend to use the term miracle, but I think, you know, if there's a situation where you'd use it, I think it would be a case like his.
When I first heard it, I didn't believe it. Like, you couldn't tell me twice that it was a true story of what happened. I mean, it's different to talk about because it's not your normal conversation with somebody being dead. Oh yeah, I died. And they're like, what?
Jarvis was diagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM, a genetic disease that leads to a thickening of the heart muscle. Doctors implanted a permanent ICD, an internal defibrillator, in his 14-year-old chest. The device monitors his heart and would provide a shock if ever needed.
All of our recommendations, sort of across the board, would be that you avoid competitive level athletics after an event like this, even with an ICD. The safest thing is to not play. Some do continue to play, fully recognizing the risks associated with it. He decided to continue to play.
Good job, Jarvis!
It was hard to, you know, get used to my body. It was terrible. I could die again, or I could just be fine. In order to succeed in some ways, not just basketball, but in life perspective, you got to get over it. Just push yourself to not think about that as much.
Oh, showtime move right there.
A starter from day one as a freshman, Jarvis helped lead his team to 4 straight state titles while crafting a collegiate resume for Division I coaches.
You know, when I said, hey, oh, by the way, this happened to him, and he has a device in his chest, they couldn't believe it.
You hear that, and then you see a guy doing 360 dunks and playing, you're kind of unsure of exactly what's going on. He was a guy that we knew was a bit of a risk, but it was a risk we were willing to take.
Last September, with his family and local doctors factoring heavily into his decision, Jarvis committed to play for the University of Minnesota. But it wasn't until this spring, after undergoing routine medical evaluations, that he received this news.
The
Tonight we have stories on 3 high-profile basketball players. Jarvis Johnson of De La Salle High School was expected to play a lot as a freshman for Richard Pitino and the Gophers, and he will not play next year because of a medical issue. We don't know when and if he'll be cleared to play again.
This is a total medical decision. You don't fully get these kids until they come onto your campus. It was something where we knew until we got with our doctors, none of it was really going to matter.
They don't want this incident to happen to him again because of the HCM.
I was really in shock. And then I cried for, for like an hour or two maybe.
Felt like I swallowed my own heart when I see him laying on the ground outside and he's just bawling, uncontrollably bawling, and it's nothing I could do at the moment.
We all want what's best for Jarvis. We all want his health to be the #1 priority. And I never wanted to put himself at any risk playing basketball for University of Minnesota.
If a doctor strictly told me, no, Miss Johnson, he cannot play, then he wouldn't play. But I've been told he could play.
There is precedent in Division I, with at least 5 players in recent years playing with defibrillators, including Buffalo's Justin Moss.
Nice lead, Moss!
Mid-American Conference Player of the Year. Moss was diagnosed with HCM in 2011.
Knowing the fact that there was somebody else in college basketball last year playing with it, it's kind of like, okay, well, he's playing, so what's the difference from him and myself,
Minnesota has offered to keep Jarvis on scholarship and pay for his education, but he cannot play or participate in full team activities.
I wish at this moment would be to still play at the Gophers. I can't just stop, if other schools are willing to let me play. It's not like I'm dying right now,